I don't think that the school can really do much more. I think that a lot of it is just kind of the sign of the times, and the school is pretty aware of security right now.
Starting last year, we started to implement a random security screening in the mornings for students arriving at school. Essentially, we have 3 different entry points to the school. We station school faculty members and administration at those entry points and randomly just select students for search and metal detection. We also instituted mesh book bags this year too. Well, I think if you ask anybody that works at a school, the #1 priority we have here is to keep kids safe. So anything that we can do, when you sit down and ask yourself, are we doing everything we can? And before we were doing this, the answer to that was no, I don't think we were. Everybody that I've spoken to has had nothing but positive things to say about the outcomes.
I feel like the security measures at our school are a bit extravagant and put in place without a direct goal.
I feel safe in school because of the amount of checking they do and the fact that we have turned to mesh book bags.
Although the administration has gone to great measures to make the school a safe environment, there are still students who acknowledge that total safety is unattainable.
So no, I don't think Forestview is truly prepared, and I think that goes for every other school in the nation.
On April 30th, 2019, the University of North Carolina at Charlotte experienced a shooting that caused the death of 2 students.
You can never be fully prepared for an event that happened here. I mean, you can put a lot of training and a lot of safety features in place, but when the event happens, you have your plans to fall back on, but still, it's always rather rattling. We do training with faculty and staff all the time, and we're actually increasing those efforts, having hired a mental health educator. Students are coming to campus having received services before, so it's less unusual for them to seek help. In the fall semester, there were events to gather and kind of restore and re-enliven. I don't think I would go so far as to say it affected their overall mental health, but it sure did put it on the forefront of their minds. And again, folks who have had previous trauma sometimes will get reactivated by this. It's not just the students in the room that had direct impact. It was the students who were in different buildings on campus in lockdown mode and not knowing what's going on and hearing sirens, and rumors get started, and so people get really activated.
I think in college the safety will depend if it benefits or harms me, because on one hand I'm going to have to be just more conscious about where I am in my surroundings, whether I'm in a dorm or things like that, and understand who's around me, which will probably actually be a good thing just because I'll know how to take safety into my own hands. But on another way, I'm excited because a lot of colleges have the blue light system where if you feel unsafe when you're walking around, you go and click the button and you kind of wait for police to arrive. And when I'm in high school, I don't have that.
I wish my high school had more of an alert system when there was an emergency, kind of like college would.
There's a 9-hour alert system. I know that day there were alerts like stay in place, active shooter, buildings in lockdown, don't go outside. I think the university and the public safety police were doing their very best at keeping folks informed. This kind of threat of serious harm has been growing, the last nearly, let's say, 20 years. We are all activated about safety.
I believe school security in my generation is different than my parents' generation because we have book bag checks, metal detectors, we all have to have mesh book bags. Entering and leaving the school takes a process of finding out who you are and what you're here to do and things like that.
People are looking over their shoulder and scanning for safety more than they probably have in any other era. This openness of environment, of thought, and that is part of what makes a university vulnerable. But in my understanding of higher education and my values around higher education, we have to stay an open, diverse, caring environment, and there are going to be threats that walk in, and we can do our very best to be prepared, but no one can predict everything.